Network, and welcome to the Lucas Oil Speedway here in Claremont, Indiana, formerly known as the Indianapolis Raceway Park. Tonight is the home of round number 9 for the Western States Racing League Truck Series. I'll be your host, Mr. Ryan Williams, and tonight I'm joined by not only senior producer Brad Kirby up in the booth, but Mr. Ben Bruno is back once again. Ben, we'll start off with last week. We saw an amazing race between Bentley Glazer and Jeff Schmeier down to the line. What are you expecting to see out of these trucks on this little bull ring here tonight in Indiana?
Yeah, this Lucas Oil Raceway in Indiana here, it's a handful. I'm watching practice here for the last couple minutes. I'm watching guys that are practicing getting in and out of pit road. It's technical. It's going to be treacherous. I mean, last week was a great race, between those guys, Bob Beltrami. Really everybody in the top 5 in points is really under a blanket right now. So every position is going to matter here tonight.
That's exactly right. And your top guys in points, you're looking at Bentley Glazer with a solid 28-point lead over Bob Beltrami, who sits in second. Brian Barnes is right there in the mix. Jeff Hollingsworth and Kyle McCartney at your top 5, and those guys are still within 50 points of one another, and things could shift very, very mightily here at the Lucas Oil Speedway tonight.
You're absolutely right. I mean, if you look at it last week, Ryan, we saw a guy like
Ben cut out there for just a second. I think he was about to call in to guys like Kyle McCartney. Bob Beltrami had a great run last week and picked up a lot of points. Carl Burke had a great run. Brian Barnes, those guys had absolutely fantastic runs last weekend at the Iowa Speedway. An amazing race that, if you guys go back and watch it, saw Jeff Schmeier play the tire and fuel strategy until the very, very end of the race, and just almost was able to edge Bentley Glazer on fuel in the closing moments. But tonight we shift our tides to a much, much different racetrack. 0.69 miles. The Lucas Oil Raceway in Claremont, Indiana, home of some of the best racing in the entire United States of America. And tonight we're going to see it come alive once again. We're only about 2 minutes away from qualifying. Just about 2 minutes over here from qualifying. I think Ben's got something he wants to come in with right quick.
I was going to say, you couldn't have said it better for me there, Ryan. And the only other thing that I was going to add to it, Jackson Bell last week, remember the great run that he was putting on, and then he ran out of some luck there. He's going to look to see if he can make his way up through the point standings here at Lucas Oil Raceway.
That's exactly right, and a couple of guys we're looking at so far tonight that have been faster. Ryan Steele, your fastest driver so far in his number 12 truck. Bentley Glazer, last week's winner and current winner of 4 races on the year. So second quick in practice. Bob Beltrami is up there with Rob Gall and Jackson Bell, your top 5 through practice. These guys look absolutely blazing fast here tonight in Indiana.
And right outside of them, you got Jeff Hollingsworth, Ryan Patty, the normals, Kyle McCartney, Paul Hoffman.
Once again, Ben looks like he's having a couple of difficulties with his microphone tonight, but right quick before we get into fast time qualifying for the Western States Racing League Truck Series, we want to remind you that tonight's broadcast of the Western States Racing League at Lucas Oil Speedway is sponsored by diecastnuts.com. Post your diecast collection, add to it or trade in the shop, and see other members' collections at diecastnuts.com. You can also follow them on Facebook at diecastnuts. We're also brought to you by Rocket Racing Setups. Rocket Racing Setups is one of the leading setup builders for the entire iRacing community. Find dirt and asphalt setups, tuning guides, fuel sheets, and much, much more at rocketracingsetups.com today. And one last thing, the Western States Racing League Truck Series is brought to you by Outdoor Cast Iron Cooking on YouTube. Be sure to check them out and subscribe today. So, with that being said, fast time qualifying is set to begin here momentarily. See who we got coming out on the track. Gonna scroll through a couple of people. Looks like our first takers of the track will be Dan Stussy in his number 78. He's entering the back straightaway. A few other cars lining up to come out. Wayne Hutchinson, Earl Weaver. Bentley Glazer's on the track as well, so you're going to see some times come in here very quickly.
Jackson Bell's also headed out on the track right now, Ryan. He's waiting in the pits. He's getting ready to move. Earl Weaver's on the track right now as well.
Exactly right. Green flag in the air for a multitude of drivers, including Hutchison, Glazer, Beltrami, Weaver. These guys are all very, very quick in this Western States Racing League Truck Series. The first times are about to come in here momentarily. Who do you guys in those comment sections? Who do you think is going to set fast time here tonight? We want to know. Comment down below if you would.
And Wayne Hutchinson ringing in the quick time right now with a 22.581. Earl Weaver on his first lap making a 22.689.
That's exactly right. These guys about 3 to 4 tenths off of their practice time set earlier. Wayne Hutchinson continues to be your fast qualifier so far. Rob Gall currently sits second at a 22.543, 2/100ths of a second off of Wayne Hutchinson.
And Wayne Hutchinson was able to better his lap there with the second lap.
But just as you say that, new quick time comes from Bob Beltrami. Ryan Patty comes in second now. They're just knocking Hutchison all the way down as here comes Glazer as well. But currently it sits Beltrami at the top of the board with a 22.338.
Jackson Bell's making his first lap right now. See what he can clock in. Try to put her in a good starting spot for this 160 lap feature.
Ryan, Patty, and Bob Beltrami playing a little bit of cat and mouse as Beltrami bested Patty, then Patty bested Beltrami, and now it's Ryan Patty on top of the board. Beltrami is about 3/100ths of a second off of Patty, who could have a car to beat here tonight.
And Brian Barnes clicks in with the third quick time of the night, 22.371. He's not far off the pace.
Look at Brian Barnes' run last week. Barnes came in at 8th at the finish. Lost a couple of points to the guys in front of him, but he's still right there in the hunt. Tonight he's got 160 laps at the Lucas Oil Speedway to try and reel in Bentley Glazer, who is so far running away with the entire kitchen sink in this WSRL Truck Series. About 6 minutes and some change left to go here in qualifying for the remaining 15 or so drivers that have not taken a time yet. We see guys like Jeff Hollingsworth that we mentioned so much, Kyle McCartney, Ryan Steele, who set fast time earlier, Ron Holyfield was fast last week, Paul Hoffman, Jeff Schmeier, who we're going to be looking for a good time out of, and one of my favorite guys to broadcast on iRacing, 72-year-old Mark McFadden out of the great country of Canada, has made the call here tonight, and hopefully we see a good run out of the old timer here at Lucas Oil.
And Mark McFadden's winding her up right now as you say that. See if he can turn in a quick one here.
Absolutely beautiful paint scheme. That Hot Wheels hot rod for McFadden. Ooh, gets into the wall on lap number 2. Lap number 1 was a little slow at a 22.994. McFadden might just be having some difficulty getting around the treacherous corners here at Lucas Oil Raceway Park.
And Jeff Hollingsworth's going to secure his start inside the top 5 as well here.
Big lick into the outside retaining wall for Mark McFadden. Pulls that number 48 Hot Wheels hot rod to a stop at the Kroger mark at the start-finish line. So tough outing for qualifying for McFadden. So right now we see, good lap there by Hollingsworth. Jumps 5th quick on his first. Let's see how his second goes. So he's currently working that second lap, the 97 of Jeff Hollingsworth. Take that back. That was his second lap.
That was Kyle McCartney there. He took the 4th spot away from Jeff Hollingsworth, knocking him back to 5th with a 22.416 there, Ryan.
It's nice to be proven wrong every once in a while. Good time for Kyle McCartney, but it's still Ryan Patty, top of the board, 3/100ths of a second faster than everybody else, and that could be a really big deal going forward here tonight.
Let me ask you something here, Ryan. We still have some guys to come out, but what are going to be your keys to success here at Lucas Oil Raceway tonight for the Western States Racing League Truck Series?
Well, with this type of bull ring, the main key is to stay out of trouble. We saw it a lot in the practice session, guys running 2 and 3 wide and just making contact with each other coming in and out of the corners. That's gonna have to be the biggest key for me tonight, is to stay off of each other, conserve that fast repair that you have. You only have one fast repair, and be there at the end of this race. And we also look, they don't have a limit on tires, I don't believe. I think the limit is 5 for this race. The marbles and dust, they're clean, so the track should be nice and clean all night long. Beautiful 76 degrees outside track at 79 degrees. Man, you can't ask for anything better for racing. These guys just need to keep those cars clean throughout this entire event.
I think you're absolutely right. I think if I had an assumption on what's going to happen here, I think we're going to see a really good race. And that's, I preached it all of last week in my first call here with you, Ryan. It's every position is going to matter week in and week out.
Oh, that's exactly right. As you can have one bad run, and just like that, your championship hopes are done. But a lot of these guys have strung together many very good runs so far this year. And this is the spring season for the Western States Racing League. They do have, I believe, one more season to go this year. But this season is number 44 for WSRL. They started way back in 1999. I was 1 year old. That just tells you how far along sim racing has gone. WSRL has been around for over 20 years.
And Jeff Schemeyer on the track now, Ryan. See if he can keep the points running here. He's sitting 7th coming in to round number 9 as we creep up on the halfway point in the season. Gotta get that car to the front of the field. And as I say that, he gets into the wall.
It looks like Schmeier has tapped the wall on both laps, which is why I keyed back in on this track being so very, very treacherous, getting in and out of the corners. It's one of those hairpin style tracks that you have to be extremely fluid all the way through to keep those cars off the walls. And that just leads to a tough break for Jeff Schmeier. Going to have to come from the very back of the pack here tonight.
Still waiting on Keith Kelman to record a lap here. Wayne Fleet is out here on the track right now, coming around for his first lap time. See if he can make his way up here in the field.
Absolutely beautiful truck on the 6 of Wayne Fleet. If you look at it, that Winn-Dixie livery. I remember growing up in the Southeast, we had a Winn-Dixie up until I was about 10 years old. And that another one of these trucks that brings back amazing, great memories from my childhood. You look all over this field of trucks. We see the Hot Wheels trucks. We see the Winn-Dixie trucks. We see anything that the eye can behold. Will bring you some nostalgic value here tonight. We hope you guys stay tuned with us, because we got about a minute to go before we get into some amazing racing action for 160 laps here from the Lucas Oil Raceway. So as we got about 30 seconds left of qualifying here, it is once again Ryan Patty up top with a 22.305. Bob Beltrami in second, 22.338. Then you have Brian Barnes, Kyle McCartney, Ryan Steele rounding out your top 5. Jeff Hollingsworth comes in 6th. Quick Jackson Bell 7th. Bentley Glazer 8th. Carl Burke 9th. And Dennis Fuson will round out your top 10. As we approach the starting grid, Mr. Ben Bruno, who is going to be your driver to watch tonight for all of those watching at home?
Oh, I think I got Jackson Bell here. Last week, like I said towards the beginning of the broadcast here, just ran out of luck, was putting together a really good run. Keep that car clean, like you mentioned earlier. I think that he can make his way to the top of the field.
As these trucks begin to grid up, so will go up our ESPN starting grid for the night. Rolling off on the pole, putting in a qualifying time of 22.305 is Mr. Ryan Patty to his outside. In second will be Bob Beltrami in the 14. Rolling off third will be Brian Barnes in the 4 car. Fourth will be Kyle McCartney in the 24. Fifth, you'll see Ryan Steele in the 12, and to his outside in sixth, there'll be the 97 of Jeff Hollingsworth. Starting in seventh will be the 23 of Jackson Bell. Starting in eighth will be the 87 of Bentley Glazer. Ninth, the 53 of Carl Burke. Rounding out your top 10, you see the 11 of Dennis Fuson. Rob Gallen will start 11th. 12th will be Wayne Hutchison. David Wood will start 13th. Earl Weaver 14th. And rounding out your top 15 will be Ron Holyfield. Ben, you want to take us the rest of the way, buddy?
William Fletcher's going to start us off at 16 in the 28 car. Kevin Thrift in the 66. In 17th, Dan Stussy in the 78 car. Starting off in position number 18. David Weaver out of that 16 car, 19th. Wayne Fleet, 20th. Mark McFadden in the 48, 21st. Dustin Burns starting off 22nd and rounding out the field, Javier Perez Torres in 23rd.
Other cars who did hit the wall but are starting include Ross Rawlings starting 24th, Jeff Schmeier 25th, Keith Kelman 26th, Paul Hoffman, Eric Woods, James Campbell, Timothy Bates, and Daniel Murphy, giving us a grand total of 31 cars. I don't see any lights on the pace truck, so that could mean that we're going racing here very, very soon at the Lucas Oil Raceway Park.
We're going to have action all over the place here, Ryan.
That's exactly right. As I've said in some of my real-life workings, ladies and gentlemen, it's about to be on like Donkey Kong whenever that iRacing pace truck pulls down and these guys unleash the hammer to the floor. That 30 Kellogg's truck is a bad-looking ride. I'm going to be looking to see if Ryan Patty can keep that number 30 clean all night long, clean and green out front of the rest of the guys. The iRacing pace truck has pulled off of the Lucas Oil Raceway Park. Ryan Patty and the 14 of Bob Beltrami going to bring us to the green. As soon as it flies, they get into that restart zone. Hammers down, the 30's on the gas, and we're underway from the Lucas Oil Raceway Park.
Patty's going to lead them down into turn one, followed up by Beltrami. And the field is stacking up a little bit back there, and the yellow is out.
That is exactly right. Yellow flag right off the gun. We're going to go back and check out who was involved in that.
I didn't see it there, Ryan.
Looks like it was the 6 of Wayne Fleet. Maybe a little bit of a net code issue. The 6 of Wayne Fleet got caught up with the 04 of Dustin Burns, it sounded like. But maybe a little bit of a net code issue is we're not seeing anything come up on the ESPN replay. But those two have been given fault for that accident per race control, it sounds like.
And Ryan Patty going to have to restart the field once again here.
That's exactly right, but we do take a look real quick at that 6 truck of Wayne Fleet. Heavy rear damage. So that tells me a little bit more about what that incident could have been. I didn't get a chance to see it firsthand as the iRacing servers are being just a tad wonky here tonight. But we do know that the 6 of Wayne Fleet, as well as I believe the 04 of Dustin Burns, were involved in that accident.
over 15,000 iRacers on here tonight, Ryan. I saw as we were logging in here for the race tonight. That's something else, with this big update that they come out with today, and there's a lot of good stuff in there. I hope everybody gets to try out some of the Bristol dirt stuff, some of the off-road stuff that they released. I'm pretty sure that they came out with a couple of road courses too, if I'm not mistaken.
Just 1 second off topic, I have been having an absolute blast with the Bristol dirt track. Unfortunately, I won't be able to be in attendance at Bristol next weekend, or next week, all the way through, but I will have a chance to race Bristol on the iRacing services, and it's just absolutely amazing carbon copy of the actual Bristol dirt surface. For once, I will admit it, iRacing got it right.
I gotta agree with you on that one, Ryan. I got to run a little bit tonight before we started up the race, and it was a lot of fun, man.
It absolutely is. I was having an absolute blast on it earlier in the evening, but once again, we are 5 laps in, says live timing and scoring. The iRacing pace truck has dipped off of turn 3. It's Ryan Patty out front, along with Beltrami, Barnes, McCartney, and Hollingsworth. We're going to go green once again from the Lucas Oil Raceway Park. It's Patty on the hammer out of 4. Beltrami with a bad start. It's Ryan Patty leading us into lap number 6. Green flag once again.
And the field is smooth through turn 1, coming out of turn 2, down the back stretch, all the way back to 10th. Dennis Fusen. Everybody above, running real smooth. You can see him kind of favoring getting in up by the wall there. Try to keep a real smooth line and preserve some tire here. We're only 7 in, so we got 153 to go here, Ryan.
Well, that is absolutely the easiest and best way to get around the Lucas Oil Raceway Park. A very thin track if you look at it from across. So these guys having to use that top line and hoping that that truck just does not push up into the wall. Just like Ryan Patty almost did. Patty got super, super close to the outside wall there going into turn number 2. Was able to bring it back in, and he has now opened up about a half a second lead over Bob Beltrami and over a second back to Brian Barnes.
Jeff Hollingsworth and I'm sorry, I missed it there, Ryan. Was Ryan Steele battling it out for the top 5 spot right now. He's taking a peek to the inside of Hollingsworth, and Jackson Bell also now going to throw his hat in the ring.
That is exactly right. Hollingsworth and Steele battling for the 5th position, and your guy, Jackson Bell, hops the outside to the outside of Steele. The top side is faster. Battling for now 6th between Steele and Bell. Bell's got the run off the corner, and he's going to have the position at the line, and looks like he's going to clear the 12 going into turn number 1.
And Jeff Hollingsworth and Jackson Bell filing back into single file as things simmer down a little bit. All smooth sailing as we come into lap number 12. And it is all smooth sailing right now for Ryan Patty, Ryan.
As you say that, Ryan Patty not really stretching out his lead too much over Beltrami, who could be saving his stuff for later on in the race, only 0.7 seconds back. But we keep our eyes on this battle for 5th. Jackson Bell slowly but surely is reeling in Jeff Hollingsworth, but he's got a battle with the 12 brewing once again as Ryan Steele sort of backs off down the back straightaway. These guys realizing, hey, we still have 146 laps to go. We cannot be fighting this hard this early.
Like you said, got to keep the car clean. Got to, make those tires last here. It's a technical track, Ryan, and if you're getting in the wall or fighting not getting into the wall, you're going to really start to wear on those tires as you battle, and maybe take a look on the inside and really, take away the value of your tires pretty early on here.
That's exactly right. Speaking of those drivers that need to keep the car clean and make their way to the front, Jeff Schmeier was one of those that hit the wall twice in qualifying, started 25th, currently up to the 20th position within the first 15 laps. He's currently your biggest mover of the race. Your biggest faller of the race so far is Wayne Fleet, who was involved in that first incident. It looks like that 78 of Stussy stuck there on the inside of Schmeier, allowing Schmeier to take the 19th position away from him into lap number 16.
And Bob Beltrami, he's just running a nice, calm race here in that second spot. He's got that lead of Ryan Patty shrunk down to all, as I say it, a half a second that lap, Ryan.
That's exactly right. He was at 0.7. Now he's at 0.503 back of Patty. Beltrami is coming. The choo-choo train is on its way. Currently, we're looking at a battle between the 24 McCartney and the 4 Brian Barnes, battling it out for the third position. Take a look here at Brian Barnes. The 24 of McCartney has the inside. Barnes has the outside. Barnes wants to be on the outside here, but McCartney's just making that inside line work tooth and nail. Give the spot to Kyle McCartney going into turn number 3.
And Jeff Hollingsworth's trying to follow him up there as well. In that lap, Bob Beltrami falls back a tenth of a second as he continues to try to chip into Ryan Patty's run here. We're 19 down, Ryan. We've got some good battles right now going on all over the track. Jackson Bell, Jeff Hollingsworth, they're under a blanket. Brian Barnes trying to make it work as well.
Just like you said, some awesome battles currently with a lot of awesome battles left to go. Bell through the kitchen sink at Hollingsworth there, but Hollingsworth got right back around him. Bell took a look at what the 24 McCartney did, and he said, look, I can use that bottom lane as well, and he's trying to make some moves as now the 12 of Steel has gotten around him, and Jackson Bell is moving in the wrong direction here at the Lucas Oil Raceway Park.
Well, for my pick, that's not what I want to see, but Bentley Glazer, he started 8th. He's currently sailing around at 8th right now, Ryan.
That's exactly right. Bentley Glazer, last week's winner, 4-time winner on the year so far. But right now I'm looking at Bob Beltrami, who seems to be the man in the catbird seat, who could easily come up here and steal this one away from Ryan Patty. Beltrami has played bridesmaid a couple of times on the year so far and is not looking to do it tonight. He's looking to get married to the trophy at the end of this 160 laps from the Lucas Oil Raceway, and right now he has fallen back to 0.8 seconds off of your leader, Ryan Patty.
And Jeff Schmeier now bettering that 25th start to a 17th place, and he's starting to really come on to Kevin Thrift here as well.
Meyer, one of those drivers who is lightning quick anytime he gets in one of these WSRL Truck Series machines. Last week, an amazing run. This week, had a terrible start in qualifying, but so far, like I said, he's your biggest mover. Look for him to be a factor as we get later on into this race. Still only 24, make it 25 at the line laps in to this one.
And Jeff Hollingsworth was able to take away that 4th spot from Brian Barnes, as you were talking there, Ryan. And there's a great battle with Jackson Bell and Ryan Steele for the 6th spot right now as well.
That's exactly right. That'll be the 87 of Glazer to the inside of Jackson Bell, looking for the 7th position. Glazer got tired of running in 8th. He wants the 7th spot, but Jackson Bell's not going to give up anytime soon. It's a bit of a slide job on a pavement racetrack for Bentley Glazer as he pulls up in front of the 23 of Bell. Bell going to give way for now, and those two are going to ride it out with that 53 of Carl Burke lurking in the shadows.
And Ryan Patty's starting to stretch it back out on Bob Beltrami here for that top spot. He's got that stretched out to 1.3 seconds. Behind him's Kyle McCartney at 1.8 seconds behind. And then once you get back from there, the field's really starting to kind of get gapped out. We'll see what green flag pitting's going to do here. Maybe a caution comes into play as we start to wear down on these older tires.
That's right. A few trucks beginning to go laps down. We see the 04 of Dustin Burns a lap down. The 6 of Wayne Fleet a lap down. And your leader, Ryan Patty, is still approaching even more trucks. Patty is on the 17 machine of, I believe that's James Campbell, makes the pass. He's also put the 85 of Eric Woods down. Ryan Patty, a man on a mission so far here at IRP.
And we'll see if this traffic helps or hinders Bob Beltrami here, Ryan. I mean, it's, you know, he's got to work around him too.
That he does. But as you say that, McCartney takes the second position away from Beltrami. McCartney lightning quick here tonight as well. But right now, with McCartney working on lap traffic, Ryan Patty can stretch that lead out even further as he's got clean racetrack in front of him for the time being. And the yellow flag flies here at Lucas Oil. It looks like it is flown for the 27 of David Wood. If we can get an ESPN replay of that. Hard contact into the outside wall for Wood. Looks like he's missing a good portion of the hood of that truck. Or has banged in a good portion of the hood of his truck. Tough break for David Wood.
And that's going to reset the field here, Ryan. How many guys do you think are coming for tires now? You think anybody's going to come yet for tires, or do you try to stretch them out a little bit longer? I mean, we have, what, 128 laps to go here?
Well, with unlimited sets of tires, we could see a lot of guys come to the pit road here very, very early. We're going to be watching for it, but... And just as I was saying, leaders, a few of them coming down pit road, the 14 of Bob Beltrami, as well as Mark McFadden in the 48, the 18s, and the 9s, and a lot of guys in here. A couple overshooting their pit boxes. I see a 7 machine down there on pit road as well. A lot of guys playing some strategy here tonight, 33 laps into this race.
And Ryan Patty and Kyle McCartney electing to stay out on the track. No tires or fuel this time by Ryan Steele, going to take big advantage of people that decided to pit there. And Bob Beltrami manages to only lose... well, he's going to fall back here. I'm sorry.
Of the guys that did pit there, it looks to me that Jeff Schmeier was the first one off of pit road. I could be wrong, but he is the first one that I did see come off of the pit road, and that could be absolutely huge for the remainder of this race for driver 25. Just the confirmation there that Schmeier was the first one off. But looks might have something going on. Could have missed his pit. Might be coming in again. Very key things happening right now for Schmeier. But it looks like he will stay on the racetrack, letting a couple of cars by. So maybe nothing too wrong with that 25 of Schmeier. I believe it will be an EOL. He could have sped off of pit road, is what it does look like. Tough break for the 25 of Schmeier as he is now falling all the way back.
And we're going to see here, though, that he is a lap down now.
That seems to be the case, that Schmeier is now a lap down. Not quite sure how that happened, as we were under yellow flag pit stops. Maybe a glitch in the system on iRacing's part, not quite sure. But right now you only have 12 cars scored on a lap, on the lead lap. Green flag flies once again. Ryan Patty takes us back to the green here at IRP.
Kyle McCartney going to try to take a look to his inside here on the start, Ryan. Ryan Steele falling back a little bit here on the restart.
McCartney with just not enough. Whoa, big bobble out of the 29 in the 4. Brian Barnes and Wayne Hutchison get together in the middle of the turn. And Barnes goes around in turn number 3. Turn number 1, I should say.
Yeah, and he collected quite a few there, Ryan.
That's exactly right.
That's going to be big down on the long run here.
Looks like he collects the 29 of Hutchison, as well as a few other guys that ended up tangling. We see the 66 of Thrift. Looks like that'll be the 28 of Fletcher. Maybe Earl Weaver involved in that. The 3 car of Paul Hoffman got a little bit of contact. A lot of guys catching a tough break here 37 laps in to this 160 lap race.
And Wayne Hutchinson was somewhat able to get through there. He's got a lot of damage on that truck, though.
If you take a look at pit road here under caution, Ryan Patty had enough of staying out. He is now in looking possibly for 4 tires and fuel. Got that first pit stall for being your fast qualifier tonight, taking the Kellogg's machine into the pit crew. Beautiful number 30 Kellogg's Cornflakes machine. It looks like Patty is the only one in with the 17 car who gets the jump on him out of the pit road. So, and then big things coming out of your lucky dog position. Schmeier is your lucky dog. He will be back on the lead lap. Jeff Schmeier, after some bad luck last caution, will be back in the 10th position, I believe, on the lead lap.
And Brian Barnes right now is going to lead the field behind that iRacing pace truck, followed by...
That would be leading the field will be the 24 of Kyle McCartney. Barnes was involved in the accident. Not exactly sure what he is doing currently. Maybe taking her into pit road this time around, as the lights are still on the iRacing pace truck. But Kyle McCartney is your current leader with that 30 machine of Ryan Patty, bringing it to pit road. He currently sits back in 8th as far as iRacing scoring is concerned. Oh.
Yeah.
Currently, as the timing sits for the iRacing servers, Kyle McCartney is your leader. Not exactly sure what they're doing with Brian Barnes. He is out in front of this field so far, but he may be instructed to fall back to the end of the longest line as we come into our 1 to go, hopefully next time by. And while we've got a bit of a break in the action here, we want to remind you guys to go ahead and subscribe to the Esports Broadcasting Network on YouTube, as well as look us up, like us, and follow us on Facebook at Esports Broadcasting Network. And as always, once again, tonight's broadcast is brought to you by diecastnuts.com. You can see other people's diecast collections, share your own, add to it, or trade in the shop. And you can find them on Facebook at Diecast Nuts. We are also brought to you by Rocket Racing Setups, the best name in setup and guide builders in the iRacing community. Find them at rocketracingsetups.com. Kyle McCartney, your leader, with the 97 of Hollingsworth to his outside. McCartney gonna fire up the bad boys off of turn number 4. Green flag is out here at IRP once again.
And a good jump here from Kyle McCartney, but Jeff Hollingsworth not going to let him get out of his sight. And as I say that, Bentley Glazer moving up to that 3rd spot just past Beltrami.
Big shake up at the front of the pack. The 97 to the inside of the 24. It's 97 with the advantage down the front straightaway. Give him the lead for the lap. 24 will stay second as the caution flies once again. see if we can go back and find out who the cause of that caution was. It was the 9 machine of Ross Rawlings, who was currently a lap down and lost it coming out of turn number 3 and into turn number 4, and just couldn't save his truck from taking a tumble. That Mid-South Camping World truck. Tough break for that 9 car of Rawlings. It looks like the servers are messing up once again, as we do not have an action shot for the ESBN replay. But big tough spin for Rawlings, who just lost it coming off of the corner in turn number 3.
And just as that happened, what a battle that we had brewing in the top 15 there. I mean, everybody just going for it right off of that restart. We're seeing these fresh tires versus old tires starting to play out. A lot of guys now have pitted, and you can see our long leader, Ryan Patty, currently sitting back in the 6th spot behind Ryan Steele, Bob Beltrami, Bentley Glazer, your points leader, Kyle McCartney, and Jeff Hollingsworth.
And currently the biggest benefactor of anything that's happened so far tonight, especially this caution we're currently under, Jeff Hollingsworth had just barely crossed the start-finish line with the lead over McCartney, and currently sitting pretty up there in that number 1 spot in his Safelite auto glassed Coast Guard Chevrolet Silverado.
And we got a couple more guys heading to pit lane. I was just going to talk about Keith Kelman. Started 26th. He's currently in the top 10. Jeff Schumeyer, he's in 11th right now. Javier Perez Torres, he started 23rd. He's up to 12th, Ryan.
A lot of these drivers that you're speaking of coming up in the pack are doing exactly what we keyed in on earlier. They're keeping those trucks clean and hopefully saving those fast repairs and extra sets of tires for later on in this race. Again, as the lights stay on the iRacing pace truck, the field does double up behind it, however, with Jeff Hollingsworth, your leader, currently Kyle McCartney second, Bentley Glazer up from the 8th position to now 3rd. Bob Beltrami's falling back to 4th. Ryan Steele started in 5th. He's currently riding 5th. Ryan Patty led most of the race. He's back to 6th currently. Dennis Fuson's up to 7th. Rob Gall's up to 8th. Wayne Hutchinson's up to 9th. And Keith Kelman, as you just said, from 26th to 10th so far. And that's just getting the list started.
Caution lights still on the iRacing pace truck. As we'll see if we can, they are going to go out here, Ryan. Why don't you do what you do so well and bring this pack back to the green flag for me?
As you stated, the flagman held the popsicle stick in the air last time by. That means 1 to go to green for your leader in the 97, Mr. Jeff Hollingsworth, the driver who we've been watching very closely. He has been amazing in that truck so far as the iRacing pace truck dips off into turn number 3. It's Hollingsworth. It's McCartney who's got the gall to pull away on the restart here as we come in to the restart zone. 97's on the gas, 24 lacks a little bit, and it's Hollingsworth bringing us back to the green.
Field smooth sailing so far. Ryan Patty working on Bob Beltrami as he's going to pull up to his bumper coming down the backstretch, and he's going to take a look to the outside as he's going to pull right up alongside of Kyle McCartney and push him down the front stretch.
That's exactly right, but the big
red.
The big one strikes at the smallest track on this series, as we've got all kinds of drivers involved here in that turn 1 incident.
And it's going to be Dennis Fusion getting into Rob Gall there, going into turn 1. Just couldn't get on the binders quick enough. Just a little tap to that quarter panel sends him around there, Ryan.
As you're hopefully taking a look at our ESPN replay, it was that 11 of Fuson getting a little love tap, as I would call it, into the back of Rob Gall in the 31, then collecting that 25 of Jeff Schmeier, as well as the 29 car and the 28 car. So a lot of guys getting involved here. 07 avoiding damage. The 4.
Kyle McCartney and Jeff Schmeier gonna head to pit here. He had some damage on his truck. See if he fixes that.
See. Trucks in include Kyle McCartney, Ryan Steele, a few others as well. We're going to watch our battles off of pit road. McCartney in and out like a lightning bolt. Kyle McCartney is going to lead us off of pit road. The 12 of Steele comes out behind him. Those may be our only 2 of maybe 3 or 4 takers that time by, but McCartney going to fall all the way back to the tail end of the line here. Lap 53 of 160 as we approach halfway here very soon.
And that's another really tough break for Schmeier right there. I'll tell you. I mean, he's gone up, he's going back. He's really got a fast truck here tonight. He just can't seem to get into the rolling luck here.
That's exactly right, and McCartney wants a good run here tonight, because next week we go to another very, very tricky track, another short track, another bull ring. Not quite, but it almost is, in the Milwaukee Mile. A tricky, tricky mile track. McCartney's going to want to have a good run here to take a bunch of points into next week, and then after that, 1 week after that, the WSRL Truck Series goes to the Chicagoland Speedway. And then to round out the month of March, they are off on March 31st. And then we get into some amazing races in April. Back to tonight, your current leader, once again, Jeff Hollingsworth, has been a man on a mission so far here tonight after that amazing pass right before the previous caution. And now he's got the man, the myth, the legend, Bentley Glazer, breathing down his neck.
And Jackson Bell's able to make it back onto the lead lap here as well, Ryan. If you remember, that was my pick here, so we'll see if he can get her going. And always the one to watch, Jeff Schmeier. He is in 13th, right behind Jackson. See if those two can make their way back up to the front, and as well as Kyle McCartney after taking that pit stop there.
That's exactly right. Again, Jeff Schmeier, one of those drivers who gives us fireworks week in, week out, as well as the 23 car of Jackson Bell. Brian Barnes, I'm going to look for him to get back in the mix as we go on. Kyle McCartney's had a fast truck so far, but my money and my mouth is still with the 30 of Ryan Patty, that beautiful sort of Terry Labonte-esque number 30 car with the Kellogg's on the side of it. As the pace truck is dipped down once again, Jeff Hollingsworth, Bentley Glazer, who's it gonna be to fire first? It's gotta be Hollingsworth. As he gets on the loud pedal, leaves Glazer in the dust, and we're back underway here at the Lucas Oil Speedway Park.
And Jeff Hollingsworth with a really nice jump on that restart. Bentley Glazer working to the top side of the track right now, currently holding off Ryan Patty, just overtaking Beltrami there, so he's gonna, he's not gonna wait for Bentley here. He was leading this race. He wants to be back in the lead of this race, as does Bentley. But Jeff Hollingsworth not gonna give it up easy tonight, Ryan.
Boy, oh boy, look what the lady in black has drug in once again back into the top 3. And coming into the blanket of the top 2 is that 30 of Ryan Patty, the man to beat so far tonight. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the standings right now to see where Patty currently sits. He was not in the race last weekend. And I'm just scrolling down and down and down, and I do not see Ryan Patty's name in the standings. So maybe he's one of those drivers that will get in here, start winning some races, and try to make a claim for the points championship here at WSRL season number 44. Multiple battles on the racetrack as you see the 30 trying to get towards the 87. Sounds like we've got some stuff going on. Kyle McCartney is pulling up to the backside of that 29. We're looking even further back in the pack. A big shuffle of cars between the 11 of Fuson, the 3 of Hoffman, the 85 of Woods. They're all shuffling positions back and forth for about 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th. And it looked like the 07 of Keith Kelman hit the wall at some point, and he is falling further and further back. He also hit Schmeier, I'm being told, so that could be devastating for the 25 of Schmeier. But you're going to see a replay right there of that incident between Schmeier, Kelman, and the 11 back there towards the back of the pack. But on the racetrack right now, the lead battle is heating up. Beltrami, Glazer, Patty, Hollingsworth, they are all neck and neck as we come down the front straightaway working into lap number 64 here at IRP. Just like that, the 14 of Beltrami looks to the inside of the 30, but gives up halfway through the corner as the 30 pulls back out in front of Beltrami. So we continue to be Hollingsworth, Glazer, Patty, Beltrami, McCartney, your top 5, with all kinds of battles happening elsewhere on the racetrack. And the yellow flag flies once again. We'll see if we can find out exactly what happened. Looks like it would have been the 18 of Javier Perez Torres. As you see that truck there coming to a rest on the bottom of the front straightaway, made some contact with the 28 of William Fletcher, and then floored from behind by the 4 of Brian Barnes, and takes a nasty spin down the front straightaway and coming to a stop along the inside wall here at the Lucas Oil Raceway Park.
And that battle for the lead was just starting to heat up there, Ryan. As you can see, the leader's going to bring it down pit road. Kyle McCartney, who previously stopped, opting to stay out there on the track.
Of the cars on the track, McCartney, besides the ones that are in the pits now, of course, McCartney does have the freshest tires. And we want to look right here at the 30 car of Ryan Patty to see who's going to win that race off pit road. Patty just started putting on right sides. He could be the first off, but there goes Glazer. There goes Hollingsworth. Glazer going to win the battle off of pit road. He's going to start alongside McCartney. So Glazer picking up spots where it counts on pit road.
Ryan Steele stopped by that time for tires as well. Didn't see if there was anybody else. Brian Barnes currently in the pits as well. The 31 truck of Rob Gal coming out of the pits. He's currently sitting in the 13th spot.
Again, a lot of the guys on pit road right now are those cars that are a lap down. You see like William Fletcher, David Weaver, David Wood, Ron Holyfield. All of these guys getting a chance now to come down pit road and replenish those tires, replenish that gas tank. It's like Rob Gall will be back on the lead lap as well, as he looks to be our lucky dog for this caution.
And Jackson Bell, I believe, dropped out of this race right now, as well as Earl Weaver. No, I'm sorry. Earl Weaver is still running the race. He is 6 laps down. Jackson Bell has retired. Ross Rawlings, it looks like, has retired. Carl Burke retiring very early on. He's currently sitting 8th in the points. So that is not going to help his boat.
Absolutely huge for Carl Burke there, having to DNF so early in this race. Won't take very many points out of this one. Ross Rawlings was involved in that earlier incident on the night. I believe we are about 5 cautions deep in this race. And it's gonna amaze me to see how many of these drivers so far have used their fast repair and how many have saved them. it looks like most of your front-running guys have not used them just yet. But as we get further and further into this race, we're just now approaching halfway here in about 11 laps. So as we get about halfway into this race, you start to wonder when these guys are going to be forced to use those faster pairs if all heck breaks loose here at the Lucas Oil Raceway Park.
And that's big, you know, for a guy like Kyle McCartney or Bentley up front right now. If those guys, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think that they've really gotten caught up in anything. You know, without a doubt that they have that fast repair still.
That's exactly right. And as we speak, the iRacing pace truck has pulled down on to the pit road here. The 24 of McCartney is your leader currently. He's going to fire off a turn number 4. It's McCartney. It's Glazer. We're back underway.
And Ryan Patty giving Bentley Glazer in a big push down the front stretch. Coming out of turn 2 gives them a good run around Hollingsworth down the back stretch as it's smooth sailing for Kyle.
Big run out of Ryan Patty on the outside. Bentley Glazer stuck on the inside. Ryan Patty is the truck to beat here tonight so far. Glazer gonna hold his ground so far. Hollingsworth sitting back and watching right in the catbird seat of this top 3 battle. You got Hollingsworth, Hutchinson, Beltrami up there. Right now, nobody has been able to get around the 24 of McCartney so far, but don't count out that 30 as he gives him a shove into the corner.
And Ryan Patty able to make it around Bentley Glazer as Bentley's gonna not let him go easy. You know, he's going to want to put the pressure on him, get some excessive wear on those brand new tires. And Hollingsworth, you know, I would imagine that right now he's just trying to keep that truck clean, preserve a little bit of tire, but keep himself within striking distance of Bentley Glazer here, Ryan.
That is exactly right, exactly what I was thinking there, but you got to be thinking for your second place runner currently, Ryan Patty, how long is he going to toy with this 24? He knows he's quicker, he's got fresher tires, and just like that, the 87 ducks to the inside, making a move on the 30 of Patty.
They're going to go door to door down the back stretch as Bentley falls back momentarily, and Ryan's going to take a look to the outside of Kyle to take that number 1 spot. He's unable to do that. Things are smooth sailing right now, all the way back through the top 10 it looks like here, Ryan.
Except for that big bobble we just saw in the middle of turns 1 and 2 from the 30 of Ryan Patty. But if you take a look, lap after lap in the middle of the corners, Ryan Patty just has so much more speed than everybody else. And now we have another caution flag waving here at IRP. Big trouble back there. I see Keith Kelman still sideways on the bottom of the track. Let's see if we can see exactly what happened.
Well,
looks like he was involved with the 12 machine of Ryan Steele and a couple others there. Steele came in late with contact. Other than that, iRacing wanted to be a little bit of a pain tonight. You see the 66 of Thrift got a little sideways as well, so a lot of drivers taken out in this melee incident on lap number 77. Cars coming out of the pits. Ryan Patty is in and out. The 24 in and out as well. So a lot of guys down on the pit road and still some filing in as we work lap number 77 under caution here from the Lucas Oil Raceway Park.
Paul Hoffman making his way down pit road in that number 3 Budweiser truck. He's going to file into the field here.
That's exactly right, and these guys are making very quick work of these pit stops here tonight, getting in and out of their boxes. That is a very key thing on iRacing. A lot of these drivers, when they very first start this, They don't have any experience at all in getting in, down, and off of pit road. So that's one of those key things that a lot of these drivers had to learn very, very quickly if you want to be successful here in these races that takes multiple pit stops to run. And a lot of these guys so far tonight are having a lot of success on pit road. You see a bunch of big movers, including that 30 of Patty, who's made a lot of ground up on pit road, as well as the 87 of Bentley Glazer, who is currently scored as our leader, and he is the first man in line behind the iRacing Pace truck.
And Jeff Schmeier's going to take a pit stop here. See what he does. Looks like, I know he had some damage. It looks like he still does have that damage to the right side of the truck.
That's right. It's caved in a little bit there. Bad damage for Schmeier. Maybe he's saving that fast repair. Maybe he's already used it, and that could be a very, very tough break for Schmeier. And as we come by the start-finish line and the lights go out on the iRacing Pace truck, I want to just remind you guys that we have a bunch of different varieties of racing here on ESPN. Stay tuned throughout the week, but most importantly, the next time that you can hear both mine and Mr. Ben Bruno's voices will be this Thursday night, 9 p.m. sharp, for the Dirty Old Bastards 410 Sprint Car Series. Be sure to tune into that one this Thursday night. But back on the racetrack, it's Bentley Glazer. It's the 97 of Hollingsworth. They're going to crank it up one more time at least as we come off of turn number 4. Glazer fires, Hollingsworth follows. We're back underway.
Bentley Glazer gets another good restart here. Hollingsworth, Beltrami, Patty, McCartney battle into the inside of Bentley Glazer, our points leader for that top 5 spot. And I was just about to talk about Wayne Hutchinson. Started 12th. He's got a lot of damage on that truck, so he's probably still got that fast repair, and he's looking to make it happen right now, Ryan.
The good thing about these small racetracks is if these trucks get a little bit of damage, as long as you have the driver that can still wield these things, you can still be a factor late in these races. And Hutchinson right now proving that to be a point as he's up to the 7th position. Look a little further ahead. The 24 is now challenging Bob Beltrami for that 4th position. 24's got a bit of a run going through the corners, but Beltrami's better off the corners. And then look even further ahead, 30 to the inside of 97. Mama, here comes that man, Ryan Patty, in the inside of Jeff Hollingsworth down the front straightaway, makes the pass, and he'll take 2nd.
And how's about Brian Barnes here tonight, Ryan? He's had a rough night, but he's really not having a bad run right now, finding himself in the top 10 as we come down to a caution.
Lady Caution has reared her ugly head once again. We're going to take a look back here and see if we can figure out just what happened. Looks like Paul Hoffman was involved. See if we can see exactly what happened here. I can at least give you some play-by-play analysis. See Hoffman coming into the corner. Hoffman just loses it coming into turn number 3. Through the grass on the infield and around on the front straightaway. Tough break for that beautiful number 3 Budweiser car that takes me back to the year, let's say 2004, 2005.
And right now, Kevin Thrift is sitting 8 laps down. He's in the pits right now. I was looking at the point standings here, and he is sitting back in 32nd, but he was up 4 spots after last week, so he's not having a bad run right now. If he can keep the momentum moving in the right direction, he could find himself coming up the points, but not on the lucky end of the stick here tonight, Ryan.
Looks like a few people decided to come down pit road as we only had a couple of laps there between pit stops. Ryan Patty stays out. He is currently your leader once again. Bentley Glazer back to 3rd in scoring so far, but I do not see Glazer. He may be one of those cars that did pit. Kyle McCartney right there behind Patty with the 29 of Hutchison, the 97 of Hollingsworth not in the picture currently. Brian Barnes is there instead. Bob Beltrami was one of those that pitted. Ryan Steele, I believe, stayed out. But right now, you look at it, there are only 11 trucks on the lead lap currently.
And Rob Gal sitting in that lucky, oh, I'm sorry, he's on the lead lap now. He's sitting in that 11th spot. I'm sorry, my eyes were wandering. David Weaver sitting in the lucky spot right now, Ryan. You know, there's a positive and a negative to everything. The negative, you're down a lap. The positive, you're the lucky dog.
And for even guys like Wayne Fleet and Dan Stussy, they are hoping that this is a caution-filled event to the very end so they can get back on the lead lap. But right now, it's Holyfield and Gall, your last two on the lead lap. Weaver and Wood, your first two a lap down. As we go by, lights are still on the iRacing Pace truck. So with that, I want to take one moment to let you guys know once again that tonight's broadcast of the Western States Racing League Truck Series at the Lucas Oil Speedway is sponsored by diecastnuts.com. Post your own diecast collection, add to it, or trade in the shop, and see other members' collections at diecastnuts.com. And you can also find them on Facebook by looking them up at diecastnuts. We are also brought to you by Rocket Racing Setups. Rocket Racing Setups is one of the leading setup builders for the entire iRacing community. Find dirt and asphalt setups, tuning guides, fuel sheets, and much, much more at rocketracingsetups.com today. And once again, the Western States Racing League Truck Series is brought to you by Outdoor Cast Iron Cooking on YouTube. Be sure to look up that YouTube channel today. Give them a subscribe and tell them that ESPN sent you. So, Mr. Ben Bruno, halfway through this race, what is your takeaway so far, as we've seen a lot of action here from these amazing trucks?
You know, it's really boiling down to right now just, you know, our keys to the race, taking care of that truck, managing your tires, keeping the nose of that thing clean really has been the biggest thing in a caution-filled first 90 laps, which is, you know, really giving a lot of guys some hope, and it's bringing some faces to the front of the pack that, you know, we might not normally see there. It's really going to shuffle up the points as Ryan Patty brings him to the green flag here, Ryan.
Your leader, once again, the 24, doesn't want him to get away, and if you look behind him, 2x2x2, pretty much all the way back, as you could throw a blanket over, or a third through about sixth there. As you see the 29 and the 4, Brian Barnes, a heck of a drive so far for him up to the third position, but right now it's all Ryan Patty. We work lap number 92, over halfway here from the Lucas Oil Raceway Park in Claremont, Indiana. An absolutely beautiful night for racing, and it's been a beautiful race so far here on the track.
And Bob Beltrami working on the outside of Wayne Hutchinson to take that fourth spot right now. Jeff Hollingsworth taking a look on the inside. Bentley Glazer going to follow the train of Beltrami by the way of Brian Barnes. As they take a look, they are going to clear him down the backstretch.
That's exactly right. My eyes have been glued to the 24 car of McCartney, just trying, clawing, scratching to catch up with your leader in the 30, Patty. But as you were saying, a pass was made for the third position. Beltrami back in front of the 4 of Barnes. Now the 87 going to try and follow him up. Glazer up to 4th currently. Here comes the 97 of Hollingsworth, as well as we begin to see who our front runners for the rest of the night are going to be.
And Ryan Patty extending that lead, a little bit of comfortability here, over a half a second lead on Kyle McCartney. But, you know, we were just watching this here for a couple laps not too long ago. You know, Kyle's going to reel him in, going to want to put some pressure on him, see if he can force him to make a mistake or wear on those tires a little bit quicker than he would intend to.
That's exactly right. As we work into lap number 96 of 160, Ryan Patty all out front by himself. But I'm not going to count out anybody until we get to that white flag lap. Bentley Glazer making a run currently. We got battles going on further back in the back, but it's only 11 cars on the lead lap. The rest of them are fighting for that lucky dog position. As you see, there are cars like the 8 of, I believe that is the 3 of Paul Hoffman. I'm sorry, I'm used to the 8 Budweiser car, not the 3 Budweiser car. You got the 25 of Schmeier making runs on Hoffman, trying to get back up into the lead lap. Schmeier's car looks a little bit better than it did before. Maybe he finally used his faster pair. The 18 of Perez Torres still there. Ooh, big hit to the wall for Hoffman as he's able to pull it back down and get a run, a pass to Schmeier there. Ben, there's all kinds of action on this racetrack. Short track racing at its absolute best.
Absolutely. Kyle McCartney has cut into Ryan Patty's lead and made it 0.3 of a second. Bob Beltrami holding off Bentley Glazer right now for that third spot, Ryan. And Jeff Hollingsworth has followed Bentley Glazer around some of those slower cars. And you knew that we were going to be talking about these guys tonight.
That's absolutely right. After last weekend's amazing performance at the Iowa Speedway, man, I'd like to take a trip inside of the head of Kyle McCartney right now. He's got to be just trying to scratch and claw and figure out within himself what he's going to have to do to catch the 30s. The 30 makes a little contact with the outside retaining wall, allowing the 24 to close that gap in just slightly, but he's so fast that he just stretches it right back out down the back straightaway.
And Bentley Glazer gets into the wall. That's going to give Jeff Hollingsworth that fourth spot. That's going to put Bentley in fifth as they come across the line. And Ryan Patty really kind of smooth sailing. You think maybe there for a couple laps he's trying to save his own tires. Just watching Kyle back there, you know, he's got to keep this thing going. If we stay green right now.
Exactly as you said, if we stay green, he's going to have to stay out in front and conserve as much as he can. Right now, I'm not banking on this thing staying green all the way, but it is a possibility with the caliber of drivers that we do have here. But with the track as treacherous as Lucas Oil Raceway Park, you never know what could happen as we see a battle once again between Hoffman and Schmeier. Schmeier going to get the advantage in the corner over Hoffman, clear him down the back straightaway, and take the 15th spot away from Hoffman as he now turns his attention to the 16 of David Weaver.
And Ryan Steele now closing in on Bentley Glazer, Ryan. Maybe Bentley picked up some damage when he got into the wall there. That's slowing him down a little bit. I know that you can get around certainly with Bentley as your driver with a little bit of aero damage, but clearly that's affecting him here right now.
You've got a great point. There is obviously some rear end and side damage to the 87 of Glazer. Currently sits 5th, but that 12 is much, much faster lap in, lap out currently. Ryan Steele making some moves here, starting in 5th, back to 6th currently, but he's trying to get back into the top 5 for that driver out of the Midwest region. But Glazer holding strong for the time being, riding around in 5th.
Brian Barnes has a pack of guys with him. That's going to be Wayne Hutchinson, who is continuing to fall backwards. Rob Gall, who we were talking about not too long ago, coming out of that lucky dog position, has made his way inside of the top 10 now, right?
I believe that the damage to the 4-car of Brian Barnes has made an impact now. You see that huge dent in the backside of that number 4 truck. He was up to 4th position at one point, now back to the 9th position and fading further and further back. Tough night for Brian Barnes, who's looking to get as many points as he possibly can out of this race. And
Ryan Patty now just being able to grow on this lead here. He's extended it out to 0.7 of a second after it having been shrunk down to just under half a second distance. As you see Beltrami starting to gain some ground on Kyle McCartney.
That's exactly right. About 3.5 of a second between McCartney and Beltrami last time by at the line. Like you said, Ryan Patty, he's not quite running away from everybody, but he's starting to lightly jog, maybe walk quickly away from the rest of the field. That 30 is on another level here tonight. Working down lap number 111 of 160 here. Your drivers mostly single filed out. A few battles still brewing on the racetrack, but mostly everybody has settled into their groove and want to get as many laps run here as possible, barring more green flag pit stops or another caution possibly. It looks like the 30 of Patty's coming up on the 66 of Thrift. He's going to stick to the outside, and he's got a melee of cars to put a lap down in front of him. This one's going to get tricky for your leader, Ryan Patty, very soon.
Kyle McCartney, he's going to have to navigate through there too. Beltrami's following him around as he gets outside of Thrift. Hollingsworth following him up. And Ryan Patty kind of getting pinched up here. Kyle McCartney shrinking up that lead.
That's exactly right. You see it on dirt, you see it on asphalt. Lap cars are treacherous to get in and around, as now McCartney has shrunk the advantage to a little over 2 truck lengths between him and Ryan Patty. Below the 17 goes Patty. Below the 17 goes McCartney. And they are neck and neck in the middle of the corner here. Kyle McCartney, this could be his moment. 1 truck length separates them as we come into lap number 115.
Well, I certainly hope that you filled the cooler before you sat down to watch this one, because when we get green flag laps in, you don't have time to run to the fridge for another one, that's for certain.
I absolutely need another one at this point, but it's too good to take my eye off of this race so far. This 07 looks to be a little bit in the way of the 30. He will not give way, will not give the outside to Patty and McCartney, and the yellow flag flies once again. Big wreck in turn number 3. Earl Weaver, a hard turn, goes straight up in the air, pinched by the 6 going into the corner, hits the corner and goes skyrocketing into the air. One of the most dangerous wrecks I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, that's not the way that you want that to go. You know, it's a good thing that, you know, if we were in real life here right now, Ryan, you know, that's an ugly wreck. And oh yeah, that is brutal impact there as he just gets into his quarter there a little bit. Gonna send the truck out into the wall, and he's just gonna have to hold on for the ride here.
He was heading down the back straightaway, and all of a sudden he was Buzz Lightyear to infinity and beyond. Was Earl Weaver. In fact, what you just said, Ben.
Kyle McCartney, Bob Beltrami all pitting right now as well, Ryan.
That's exactly right. A lot of guys coming down the pit road. They were getting awful close to green flag pit stops, if you'll believe it. So good thing for some of these guys. Patty leads us off the pit lane with the 12 in tow, or with the 24 in tow, excuse me. Beltrami and the 97 of Hollingsworth right there as well. Bentley Glazer hopefully got his little bit of damage fixed. And still, now 12 cars on the lead lap, so these guys that are a lap down are begging and pleading for these things, these cautions to keep happening. But once again, a tough ride for Earl Weaver. One of the more horrendous wrecks I've seen on the iRacing servers in recent memory. Just spun into that outside wall, caught, I don't know if it was a stick out from the wall or what, but just straight into the air he went. Looking like Neil Armstrong and the boys back in '66.
And the thing that I watched there on that pit stop, Ryan, was Brian Barnes. He's still got that damage with 119 laps down in this race. You would figure that if he had it, he's been able to keep himself on the lead lap thus far. He probably would have fixed that damage at this point. So would you say that he probably doesn't have that fast repair, or does he think that he can use it later at this point?
Well, without talking to the man himself, it is impossible to know, but if you look back at earlier in the race, he was involved in a very, very heavy collision, so he may have already used it, but he also may be saving it for something happening later in the race. There's really no telling unless we actually talk to him. But My eyes have all night just been on Ryan Petty, that beautiful Kellogg's machine. Complete and utter domination here at IRP for a driver who has not run a race with the Western States Truck Series so far this year.
And Jeff Schmeier right now making his way around the pace truck. He's going to find himself back on the lead lap once again after starting 25th and running into Lady Luck a few times. He is certainly not going to give up at this point.
Ladies and gentlemen, that being said, we have, I believe, 59 laps remaining. Go ahead. Go pop you some popcorn. Get back in that seat. It's about go time once again as the 30 of Ryan Petty's going to send us firing down the front straightaway. He's on the gas. We're back underway here at IRP.
Kyle McCartney, Jeff Hollingsworth, Bob Beltrami. Ryan Steele going to throw his hat on the outside of Bob Beltrami down the backstretch to take away that 4th spot. And Brian Barnes looking to the inside of Wayne Hutchinson.
Slide out of Patty, he's into the wall. Break for Ryan Petty there. Hard into the outside wall down the front straightaway. And now he's fallen all the way back to 4th. That gives your race lead to McCartney. What an event there for the 30 of Patty. What's that going to do for the rest of his race? Heavy damage to the right side of that race truck. Spinner behind him. Yellow flag is out. It was the 28 car. William Fletcher in the Haviland throwback just lost it down the front straightaway. These new tires on this worn-out racetrack just not catching the grip that they should. And a hard spin for Fletcher. Luckily, just barely taps the wall there at the start-finish line. And he seems to be okay moving forward in his number 28 Haviland machine.
And that's another tough break there for William Fletcher, Ryan. He was really making his way up through the field there. I think he was scored last in 5th, but I believe he made his way all the way up to Jeff Hollingsworth's door at one point.
That's exactly right. He has been on a mission so far. More drivers entering the lead lap. Like you said, William Fletcher now on the lead, well, falling to the rear of the lead lap because he was the caution, but it looks like we're going to have another person on the lead lap as a lucky dog will come through. That should be David Wood in the 27 machine.
And that's going to bring us up to 14 cars on the lead lap, Ryan. We were at 11 just a couple laps ago. So, as you talked about, you know, these guys really taking advantage of these cautions here.
And big updates out of the 30 camp. It looks like the 30 of Ryan Petty may have actually used his fast repair after his hard contact into the outside wall. That number 30 Kellogg's Cornflakes Chevy Silverado looks absolutely beautiful once again, so I would go out on a whim and say that Ryan Petty is in a brand new race truck here tonight.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Ryan. He used his fast repair there. Jeff Hollingsworth, Kyle McCartney, you know, this is what I was talking about at the beginning of this race. You know, the points here right now, Jeff Hollingsworth in 4th. If I'm not mistaken, he is 43 points behind the leader, Bentley Glazer, in points right now. And a win here tonight would top him. Well, I guess it depends where Bentley finishes out here, but as of right now, it would be really, really close, but he might be able to take away that spot. And Kyle McCartney in 5th, he's not far off either at 47 behind. Ryan Steele 72 points behind in that 6th spot for the overall point standing. As you know, round 9 here at the Lucas Oil Raceway, we're really creeping up on halfway. So like I was saying at the beginning, keeping that car clean is going to be huge for the points here tonight, and every position matters.
That is exactly right. It's all these guys are in a blanket in the point standings. Wow, we got one to go here. Lights out on the iRacing Pace truck. Remember, catch us tomorrow at ESPN for the SRE series at the Daytona Road Course. The USRA has their season finale at Charlotte as well tomorrow. DOB 410 Sprint Car Series at Cedar Lake on Thursday with myself and Mr. Ben Bruno. Then you have the Circle B Diecast Super Speedway Series at Talladega on Friday, the SRE Bravo Series at Kentucky, and then we round out the week on Sunday with the Chris Cup at Homestead Miami Speedway. Once again, we're going to go green off of turn number 4. It's Kyle McCartney out front alongside the 97 truck. McCartney fires, the 97 follows. We're back underway here at IRP.
And Ryan Steele having a good restart, taking a look at the inside of Bob Beltrami as he slides up the track. Wayne Hutchinson, been talking about him quite a bit here in the latter stage of this race, battling with Brian Barnes to round out the top 5. And they are 2 by 2 by 2, starting with Rob Gall back to Jeff Schmeier back on the lead lap, trying to make the best of a really hard run here tonight.
That's exactly right. We're going to look right now at the man who led most of this thing. Let's see how he's doing so far in this restart. Ryan Patty sideways off of turn number 4. The 7 breaks for him. Patty on brand new tires needs to keep that thing under him until those tires fire and he's able to make some moves here. That's what we're seeing out of this current package for the iRacing services. Tires for about 2 to 3 laps are very, very, very loose on these cars until they fire and catch some grip. And right there you saw Ryan Patty go for a little bit of a slide as he's dealing with just that.
And Wayne Hutchinson, again, he's not going to let these top 4 guys get away from him. Ryan Steele just slightly ahead of him as he's working on Beltrami. Jeff Hollingsworth not going to give up on Kyle McCartney here easy, as lap after lap they are trading from 0.3 of a second behind to 0.4, as right now he's currently at 3. We will see who can make the best of their tires here as we come around to lap 135.
Right now, my eyes are absolutely stuck on the 30 of Ryan Patty. Every time he comes off of turn number 4, you see Bobo, there he goes into the wall in turn number 2. Patty having terrible luck right now with his setup. Truck seems to be awfully tight in the middle of turns 1 and 2 and awfully loose coming off of turn number 4. It's going to be a tough task to see if he can recoup after that.
In the battle to watch right now is between that 3rd, 4th, and 5th spot. Bob Beltrami, Ryan Steele, Wayne Hutchinson, lap after lap. You got to wonder, you know, if we go green here, you're really thinking about what you want to do with your tires.
That is exactly right, as we are now closing in on only 20 laps left in this race. Possibility for one more pit stop. Most of these trucks can probably make it here, but if we see another caution, you will see a multitude of drivers hit pit road. And just for all these guys up front, week in, week out, these guys are absolutely tremendous. If you're new here to the Western States Racing League, we do broadcast them every Tuesday night at 10:05 p.m. Make sure to keep continuously tuning in. Share these broadcasts with your friends. Introduce them to the amazing world of iRacing broadcasts, as these things, the action is hot, the action is heavy, and they are very, very entertaining to watch.
You're absolutely right, Ryan. And there's really not a league that ESPN covers that isn't a lot of fun to watch. I'll tell you what, I had my first shot at the DOB 410 sprint cars with Tony last Thursday, and man, was that a ton of fun, and I am looking forward to getting back out there with those guys as well. And Ryan Patty really struggling on the long run here as he got into the wall again here, Ryan.
He absolutely is. Again, the groove here at the Lucas Oil Raceway Park, or IRP as some people know it, is right up against that wall, middle of the track to the wall, and Patty's trying to use that very, very top. If you're accustomed to dirt track racing, it's like using the berm at, say, Eldora or Charlotte, anywhere like that. It's about the same factor here on pavement as the lap times up top are just a little bit quicker and you get a little bit of a better run off of the corner. You see here the 87 of Glazer trying to make a move. The 30 of Patty, man, he's still lightning quick, though, even with all that right side damage.
I was just about to talk Bentley right there, Ryan. He is on a mission as he's working on Wayne Hutchinson, but you can see that Ryan Patty battling to the inside of him is going to hold him up as they make contact coming out of 4.
That they do, and there was a battle between Beltrami and the 12th machine of Steel. Beltrami got the worst of it as Steel reclaims his 3rd position and pulls away. And right now it looks like that 87 of Glazer has fallen a good ways back. As you said, they did make contact, but that gives advantage to Ryan Patty as he currently starts to work on the 29 of Wayne Hutchinson for the top 5 once again.
And Bentley's got big right side damage to the nose and the side of the truck, and you can see Jeff Schmeier working on him right now. Kyle McCartney, however, right now, Ryan, he is really starting to establish a lead. Has gone from 0.7 of a second to 0.9 of a second on lap 145 with 15 to go.
That's exactly right. We're coming to 15 to go at the line. A man you just spoke about, Jeff Schmeier. Remember, he started all the way back in the 25th position. He is currently your biggest mover, riding in the 8th position. Going to be a good points night for Schmeier if he can stay up there, maybe get past Glazer and a couple others. Schmeier, another one of those drivers who's right there in the hunt for the points. We take a look back at the 30 of Patty. He's down to the inside of the 29 of Hutchison into corner number 3. Let's see if he can maintain the run. He sure looks like he can. Slides it a little bit, but holds on to it. But that allows the 29 right back around to retain his position as working the lap number 147. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty here tonight.
Ryan. Wayne Hutchinson got into the wall. That's going to open the door for Ryan Patty to take a look underneath of him. He's got him clear here coming into turn 3. He's going to slide up in front of him coming out of turn 4. He's going to be able to hold off with a good run of momentum here.
That is exactly right, as Patty now currently rides in the 5th position. Taking a look back out front, Kyle McCartney stretched his lead out to 0.7 of a second, just about 0.8 of a second. Let's see what he's got this time by the line, but so far we haven't talked about him a whole lot with being a dominant race truck, but Kyle McCartney has been absolutely lightning quick all night long.
And Bentley Glazer now starting to charge up as him and Schmeier working up on Wayne Hutchinson and Ryan Patty as Glazer putting that truck right against the wall. It's all smooth sailing as Kyle McCartney is still holding on to a 0.7 of a second lead over Jeff Hollingsworth, followed up by Ryan Steele. Boy, he's having a great run here tonight, Ryan. Kind of got caught up in some sticky stuff, and he is still inside of the top 5. He's on a podium finish here as of right now with 9 to go.
He absolutely has, and for these guys sitting 2nd through about 6th, they have to now realize that this is the time that they need to push the hardest. We are 10 laps to go, make it 9 to go at the line. These guys are coming down to the nitty-gritty. It's time to push those trucks for all that they are worth here in these last few laps here at Lucas Oil Raceway Park.
And everybody's starting to fall into line here as we're getting a little bit more settled in. You can see Bentley Glazer and Jeff Schmeier still bumper to bumper battling for that 7th spot.
That's exactly right. And for Jeff Hollingsworth and Ryan Steele, those two have to be praying right now for a caution. We're coming to lap 154. That means 7 laps to go for Kyle McCartney, who is looking for, I believe, his first win on the season, wanting to break the goose egg, break the ice, and get a good run on Glazer here, as McCartney can do a lot in the points tonight here.
And he's going to have to work on some lap traffic here if we stay green these last 5 as we roll over into lap 155. He's going to have to take a look outside of Thrift here, which he does. He's going to let him out on the outside.
That's exactly right, as McCartney expertly working through the traffic here. 5 laps to go. 5 fingers in the air from the flagman this time by. Hollingsworth a second and 1/10 behind McCartney, who is expertly dodging, weaving in and out of these cars here. He comes up on the back of Mark McFadden in the 48, who will not give him the high side. And does that do anything for Hollingsworth? Not going to look like it, as McCartney's going to stroll on by, heading into 157 of 160.
And Ryan Steele closing that gap between him and Hollingsworth, as Kyle McCartney's still navigating lap traffic, but Hollingsworth not really getting an opportunity at this point to have something to take advantage of either.
That's exactly right. Kyle McCartney has been the man in the right spot at the right time so far tonight, and he is closing in on his first win of this season. Took advantage when the 30 of Ryan Patty had some unfortunate troubles, and so far so good in these closing laps for McCartney, still at a 0.8 second advantage. Lap 159, you know what that means. 2 fingers in the air, popsicle sticks from the flagman that time by.
And Kyle was held up there last lap, but he's able to navigate it. Looks like it's going to be smooth sailing for him here, Ryan. Take him home.
That's exactly right. White flag waves this time by McCartney to the inside of the 07. Makes the pass to put him another lap down. Kyle McCartney, the driver out of the Western region. 9 races into this season. 0 wins on the board, but he's currently in 5th in the points. And with a win here tonight at Lucas Oil Speedway, Kyle McCartney closes the gap on Billy Glazer. McCartney is your winner. With Hollingsworth coming home 2nd, Steele 3rd, Bill Tramey 4th, Ryan Patty rounds out your top 5. Wayne Hutchinson, Bentley Glazer, Jeff Schmeier, Ron Holyfield, and Rob Gall round out your top 10.
That number 4 car of Brian Barnes going to bring it home in 11th after starting 3rd tonight. The number 3 car of Paul Hoffman bringing it home in the 12th spot tonight. William Fletcher in 13th. David Wood 14th. David Weaver in 15th, a lap down. Dustin Burns going to bring her home in 16th, starting us 2 laps down. The 48 of Mark McFadden taking her home in 17th. Keith Kellman, after having a great run, having some bad luck, it's going to drop him back to the 18th finishing spot. Dan Stussy in 19th, and Dennis Fusen in 20th.
That's exactly right. We're going to wait here real quick for the top 3 guys to get in here. We want to have a word, especially with our winner in the 24 car, Mr. Kyle McCartney. A fantastic closing run by Kyle McCartney. Jeff Hollingsworth has been good all year. He brings home another 2nd place finish. Ryan Steele with his best run so far this year. Actually, he's had 4 top 5s on the year. Continues his top 5 streak. As we're going to wait here for 1 second for Kyle McCartney to jump into the booth with all of us. One more time, we want to remind everybody that the Western States Racing League is brought to you by Outdoor Cast Iron Cooking on YouTube, diecastnuts.com, and Rocket Racing Setups. So it looks like we finally got with the man of the hour, Mr. Kyle McCartney. You got a copy with us, buddy?
Yes, I do.
Man, you seem to have everything figured out in that last segment of the race there. A bit of bad luck for the 30 of Patty, and you were able to take it smoothly to the house for your first win of the season, man. Give me some of your thoughts after that amazing race.
Oh, I was definitely nervous that there was another caution was going to fly. We had quite a few of them tonight, and I knew if one flew, I'd probably have to pit, and there'd be guys that stay out, and it would have been mass chaos. So I'm glad it went green to the end.
This week, you were coming off of 4 top 5s in the series so far this year. I believe we're now 9 races in. How does it feel to finally break that goose egg and get your first win of the season?
Oh, man, it feels pretty good because I gave I gave one away, and I had another kind of taken away. So I should have had a few already. So just glad I finally got it done. So.
And then looking forward to next week at the Milwaukee Mile, is that going to be one of those tracks that you feel comfortable enough with to run like you did here tonight once again and hopefully contend for another win?
Oh, for sure. I love the short tracks. Those are kind of like if there was a group of tracks, that'd be the my specialty. But yeah, Milwaukee, I love it. In fact, I think it's very similar to IRP, just the way that the corners are super flat and long. And yeah, no, it's going to be a lot of fun.
It definitely is. And right quick before we let you go and celebrate your amazing win here tonight, Kyle, shout out some of your sponsors who's helping you on the race car tonight.
Well, I got to throw a shout out to my little bro, Corey. He's the one that he always sets the truck up for me. And he's good at setting it for the long run, which we had tonight. And I got a shout out to my mom. I actually got her to actually watch the broadcast. So thank you, ESPN, for hosting this so that way she can watch. And lastly, I got to give a shout out to my wife. She's knee deep in nursing school and can't watch, but hopefully she'll get her done here soon.
All right. Well, hello, Mama McCartney. Your son won tonight. It's an amazing feeling for you and her, I'm sure. Once again, congratulations to our winner tonight, Mr. Kyle McCartney.
Thank you.
And next, we're going to bring in our second place finisher, Mr. Jeff Hollingsworth. Ben Bruno, would you like to have a word with Mr. Hollingsworth following his second place finish here tonight?
Absolutely. Great run here tonight, Jeff. You know, coming out of last week after 8 races of 20 on the season, sitting in that 4th points position, having a really great run here, having some shake, go down at the beginning of the race, taking some guys out. What was your big takeaway from the race that led you to success here tonight?
I don't know. What do you mean taking some guys out? What I miss?
No. In the early cautions and, things getting chaotic towards the beginning of the race, what was your big takeaway on being successful here tonight?
Tires was it, man. If you, I felt bad for the guys that were in the back because pitting really stunk if you were back there. It was easy to lose a lap in the pit. So the big goal of mine was to try to stay up front and get tires when I should, and ended up doing decent. Congrats to Kyle, man. He's been strong all season. That's his first win, I think, here, and it's good to see him win, and Ryan on his podium as well. It was a fun race.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a thriller to watch from here. When we got those good green flag runs in, there was really some good battling going on. As you were working your way up there, as things were getting stacked up after those last few cautions. What were you seeing out there? Was there more speed in trying to preserve the tire to the top side, or was it about being more aggressive to overtake some of those spots?
Didn't like being up top. To me, it washed out, and I saw a couple people get up there, and it's like those Kansas Kansas where you run the top, stuff like that, and you scrape the car up. And so I didn't go up there much. I kind of made it so I could run the bottom. I shorted my fuel so it wasn't as loose, and was using a lot of brake and stuff. And I didn't have anything for Kyle, but I was able to hold my own there at the end. And just the thing about these small tracks is a rhythm, and then the cool thing about this track is you could run different lines, and so I chose to run like mid to bottom. It was good for me. It was fun.
It was a good bit of fun to watch too, and you led into my next question perfectly. Last week at Iowa, this week at Lucas Oil, through this, as we get to the midway point, some very technical tracks that we've been running, and we're coming into as well. How do you look forward on maintaining your points position and holding guys off like Bentley and Ryan or Kyle, as everybody's really, really under a blanket in points moving into next week?
Yeah, all those names you mentioned and more. There's Bob's one of them too. And the other guy, Ryan Patty. I think it's his first race with us. I raced with him in other leagues. He's a real good driver, so he'll be one to deal with. Jeff Schmeier, um, Brian Barnes, actually, the ex-champ there, and that's my goal. Is me and Bentley, we're on the same team, and we wanna try to put someone else's name on the top of the championship instead of Brian. But as far as going into the next few weeks, you know, good finishes, and I gotta start qualifying better. That's my thing. If it's hard when you like at Iowa. I was real fast in practice, but I just left a lot on the table in qualifying. I was off for like 2/10 and started mid pack and had to really really fight to get up, into the top five. So just consistency rules. That's the way it is, and luck has a lot to do with it. So tonight at one of those last cautions, I'm driving down the back, and I said, Bentley, look, there's a truck in the air. It's like,
That was a gnarly wreck, man.
yeah, it was like I'm gonna watch that. Can't wait to watch the broadcast tonight. I don't have to work tomorrow, so I'm gonna stay up and watch it and stuff. But good league, a lot of fun, always is, and good drivers, and that's all I got to say, man.
Well, who do you want to thank for another great run here this Tuesday night?
Well, Bentley, my teammate, and Charlie that couldn't make it in, and just Bob for putting this league on. I've run leagues for, in the past. I've been doing this a long time, like he has, and running a league isn't easy, and it gets kind of headachy at times. So really, really shout out to him. And if you guys feel like supporting him, just kick him some money, because it's all this stuff costs money, and everybody for showing up and giving us a league to race against. That's the thing.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jeff, for taking the time to talk with me, and congratulations to you on the great run tonight with that second place finish.
Right on. You guys have a good night. Be safe.
That was your second place finisher, Mr. Jeff Hollingsworth. And finally, the man that we were watching most of the night came from a little further back in the pack. It's Ryan Steele. Ryan, this is Ryan Williams from ESPN. You got a copy, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Man, you had a little bit of tough luck early in the race, but you were able to pull it all the way back and finish third. What was kind of your strategy there through the middle and latter stages of the race to put yourself where you ended up finishing?
I don't know if it was much of a strategy. I just kept on trying to play the track position card. To do well, you had to have both track position and tires, and I never managed to have both. Started off with a pretty poor qualifying effort compared to where I practiced, and got put in the wall, and from then on I was like, okay, I need track position, I'm going to stay out. Okay, now I need tires, I'm going to go pit. And every time it was giving me the opposite of what I wanted. So I was lucky to get back to third.
Well, you somehow did it, and you found yourself on a podium spot, and that makes 5 top 5s on the year for you. Going into our next races at Milwaukee and past that, Chicagoland, etc., how do you build on the momentum that you've so far created for yourself?
I'm hoping I can just keep on ringing off top 5s. That seems to be what I'm capable of here in the trucks. Milwaukee should be good, as long as I don't get put in the fence. Chicagoland should be good. As long as we're getting to tracks that are above a mile, I should run well. And yeah, that's about it.
Well, we're definitely looking for you to be one of those top-running trucks going forward. Before we let you go and celebrate your third-place finish here tonight, who are some of the people that you want to thank for helping you out on your sim racing journey?
I've got to thank all my dog bear teammates. As always, they help me get up to speed, and sometimes I'm able to help back, so that's good. And thank you guys for covering these races. It makes it much fun.
Yes, sir. Well, once again, congratulations, Ryan, on your third place finish. Have a great night to you. And any closing comments from you, Mr. Ben Bruno?
You know, I just want to say, right, I'm the new guy here, right? So I'm always talking about the points and, everything being so important. I sound like a broken record, maintain the truck, all that good stuff. But if this points battle wasn't so tight, I would definitely not sound that way. And it really is shaking out hard. It's just like I talked about at the one intermission during a caution there about getting back to the DOB 410 sprint cars. This series with the Western States Racing League and the Truck Series on Tuesday nights is just phenomenal, close battling, and it shows you in the points. So, I mean, you look at talking to our top three guys, and Jeff Hollingsworth's talking about how important it is for him to be better qualifying when he's one of four guys in the whole league that has even earned a pole spot, with Bentley taking home three of them, and Carl Burke, who didn't finish tonight unfortunately, having three pole positions. It's just, if you look at the stat sheets, it just shows you the caliber of racing that we're watching here.
I could not agree with you anymore. Amazing racing, amazing points battle, amazing everything from the Western States Racing League. So before we get going here tonight, we want to remind you guys that you can catch us here on ESPN tomorrow with the SRE series at the Daytona Road Course. On Thursday, we have the USRA season finale, and we have Dirty Old Bastards at Cedar Lake. USRA will be at Charlotte for their season finale, Dirty Old Bastards at Cedar Lake. The Circle B Diecast Super Speedway Series is on Friday from Talladega. The SRE Bravo Series will be at Kentucky on Saturday. And the Chris Cup will be at Homestead on Sunday, as well as the Major Series racing at Long Beach in their Sportsman Division. So, in conclusion, amazing race, amazing action, amazing win for Kyle McCartney. Ladies and gentlemen, be sure to drop a subscribe, be sure to drop a follow, hit all the notification bells, keep up with us at Esports Broadcasting Network. For Mr. Ben Bruno and senior producer Brad Kirby, I've been Ryan Williams. Thank you guys for joining us here. Goodbye and good night.